There once lived in a sequestered part of the county of Devonshire one Mr. Godfrey Nickleby, who, rather late in life, took it into his head to get married.
And in due course, when Mrs. Nickleby presented her husband with 2 sons, he found himself in a situation of distinctly shortened means.
Which were only relieved when one fine morning I wrote a black-bordered letter informing him that his uncle was dead and left him a bulk of the property amounting to £5,000.
And with portion of this property, Mr. Godfrey Nickleby bought a small farm near Dawlish.
And on his death some 15 years later, he was able to leave his eldest son £3,000 in cash, and to his youngest £1,000 and the farm.
The younger boy was of a timid and retiring disposition, keen only to attach himself to the quiet routine of country life.
The elder son, however, resolved to make much use of his father's inheritance.
The young Ralph Nickleby committed usually on a limited scale even at school, putting out his interest in small capital, slate pencil and marbles.
And then now in adulthood resolved to live his life by the simple motto that there's nothing in the world as good as money.
While Ralph prospered in the mercantile way in London, the younger brother lived still on the farm.
And took himself a wife.
Who gave birth to a boy and a girl.
And by the time they were both nearing the age of 20, he found his expenses much increased and his capital still more depleted.
Speculate, his wife advised him.
Think of your brother, Mr. Nickleby, and speculate.
And Mr. Nickleby did speculate.
But a mania prevailed.
A bubble burst.
4 stockbrokers took villa residences at Florence.
400 nobodies were ruined.
And one of them was
Mr. Nickleby!
And Mr. Nickleby took to his bed,
apparently resolved to keep that at all events.
Cheer up, sir, said the apothecary.
You mustn't let yourself be cast down, sir,
said the nurse.
Such things happen every day,
remarked the lawyer.
And it is very sinful to rebel against them,
whispered the clergyman.
And what no man with a family ought to do,
added the neighbours.
But Mr. Nickleby shook his head.
And he motioned them all out of the room.
And shortly afterwards his reason went astray.
And he babbled with the goodness of his brothers and the merry times they had at school.
And one day he turned upon his face,
observing that he thought he could fall asleep.
And with no one else in the world to help them but Mr. Ralph Nickleby, the widow,
and the children,
journeyed forth
to London!
That's me.
What is it?
It's a letter.
The Ruddles' mortgage, I suppose?
No, wrong.
What has come then?
I have.
What else?
This. Postmark strand. Black wax, black border, woman's hand, CN in the corner.
Black wax. I know that hand too. Newman. I shouldn't be surprised my brother was dead.
I don't think you would.
And why not, sir?
Well, you're never surprised at anything, that's all.
Yeah, as I thought, he's dead.
Children alive?
Yeah, what's the point? They're both alive.
Both?
Yeah, and a widow too. All 3 of them in London. Damn them.
Terrible.
Go home. What are they to me? I've never seen them. Damn them.
And so Ralph Nickleby proceeded to the Strand, found the number of the house, and stopped, gave a double knock, and waited for an answer.
Ah, young Nicholas, I suppose. Okay?
That's right, sir. These are my children.
Well, ma'am, you must bear up against sorrow. I always do. You didn't mention how he died.
The doctors could have believed it to no particular disease. We have no reason to fear he died of a broken heart.
A what?
I beg your pardon?
A broken leg or head? I know of those, but not a broken heart.
Some people, I believe, have none to break.
What's that, sir? How old is this boy, ma'am?
19.
And what does he mean to do for bread?
To earn it, sir. And not let anyone else keep my family except me.
I see. Well, the creditors have a minister, you say, and you spent what little you have left coming all the way to London to see me.
I thought it was my husband's wish I should appeal to you.
I don't know why it is, ma'am, but whenever a man dies with no property, he thinks he has the right to dispose of other people's. If my brother had been acquainted with this world, and then applied himself to make his way in it, then you would not now be in this, well, in your situation. I must say it, ma'am, my brother was a thoughtless, inconsiderate man, and no one, I am sure, can feel that more keenly than you do.
Yes, I've often thought if he'd listened to me, you may well be true.
So what's your daughter fit for, ma'am?
Oh, Kate has been well educated, sir.
I'm willing to try anything that will give me a home and bread.
I see. And you, sir? Prepared to work?
Yes, certainly.
And read this. Caught by this morning.
Master of the Academy, Dotheboys Hall near Greta Bridge in Yorkshire is in town and attends at the Saracen's Head Snow Hill. Able assistant wanted, annual salary £5. Master of Arts would be preferred.
Well?
But he's not a Master of Arts.
That I think can be got over.
And the salary is so small, Uncle, and it is so far away.
Hush, Kate, your uncle must know best.
Ma'am, if he can find another job in London now which keeps him in shoe leather, he can have £1,000.
Sir, if I am appointed to this post, what will become of those who I leave behind?
If you're appointed and you're accepted, they'll be provided for. That will be my care.
Then, sir, I am ready to do anything that you wish.
Good. And come, who knows, you work well, right to be a partner, then he does. Your fortune's made.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes, to be sure. And Kate, who knows? I might meet some young nobleman or other who takes a fancy to me. And then, when he leaves, I will become his travelling tutor. And when we finally arrive back from the continent, his father may procure me some handsome appointment in his household or his business. And who knows, he might fall in love with Kate and marry her. Don't you think so, Uncle?
Yes, yes, of course.
Uncle, we are a simple family. We were born and bred in the country and have never been apart.
Well?
We are unacquainted with the world, and we must... And it will take time for us to apply ourselves, and to make our way in it, and to bear the separation which necessity now forces upon us. That, I'm sure you understand.
Yes. Indeed I do. Now, sir, shall we go?
And so, the uncle and the nephew took themselves with all convenient speed towards Snow Hill and Mr. Waxford's Squares.
And in Snow Hill, near to the German Smithfield, is the Saracen's Head. And outside the Saracen's Head are two stone statues of Saracens, both fearsome and quite hideously ugly. Where, inside on this January afternoon, stood Mr. Squeers, whose appearance was not much more prepossessing.
He's only got one eye.
While the popular prejudice runs in favour of two,
And look, the side of his face is all wrinkled and puckered.
which gave him a highly sinister appearance, especially when he smiled.
And his other eye, it's a very funny colour.
Which indeed it was, a kind of greenish grey in the resemblance of a fanlight on a street door, through which Mr. Squeers was staring at a tiny boy, sitting on a tiny chair in front of him.
Hello, sir. What's that, sir?
Nothing, sir.
Nothing, sir.
Please, sir, I sneeze, sir.
Sneezed. Yes, sneezed. Well, that's not nothing, now is it?
No, sir.
You wait till Yorkshire, my young gentleman, and then I'll give you something to remember.
Mr. Squeers, there's a gentleman who's asking for you.
Show him in, William. Show him in. Now, dear child, why are you weeping? All people have their trials, but what is yours? You are losing your friends, that is true. But you'll have a father and me, my dear, and a mother and Mrs. Squeers, at the delightful village of the boys near Greta Bridge in Yorkshire, where youth are boarded, clothed, booked, furnished with pocket money, provided with all necessaries, instructed in all languages, living and dead, mathematics, orthography, geometry, astronomy, trigonometry, the use of the globes, algebra, single stick, if required, writing, arithmetic, fortification, and every other branch of classical literature. Terms, 20 guineas per annum, no extras, no vacations, and diet unparalleled. What good data? I had no idea.
Mr. Squeers.
The same, sir.
My name's Nolly. I'm in the oil and colourway.
Well, how do you do, sir? And how do you do, young sir?
Mr. Squeers, I've been placing my two boys at your school.
Sir, I do not think you could do a better thing.
At £20 per annum.
Guineas, sir.
Pounds for two, perhaps. They're not great eaters.
Then, sir, we shall not be great feeders. I'm sure we can reach accommodation.
I see. And this is another boy, sir?
Why, yes, sir. This is Belling and his luggage next to him. Each boy requires 2 suits of clothes, 6 shirts, 6 pairs of stockings, 2 nightcaps, 2 pocket handkerchiefs, 2 pairs of shoes, 2 hats, and a razor.
A razor, sir? What for, sir?
To shave with.
Sir, up to what age?
As long as payments regularly made.
I see.
Sir, let us understand one another. Are these boys legitimate?
They are.
Go on.
That's to say, I'm the husband of their mother. And as it is so expensive keeping boys, and as she has so little money of her own, and here in the school, a great distance off, where there are none of those ill judges coming home, 3 times a year, which do unsettle the children so.
Payments regular and then no questions asked.
I'd like their morals particularly a temperature.
Well, sir, you've come to the right shop for morals. I think we do now understand one another.
Thank you, sir.
Mr. Squeers.
Yes, what is it?
A matter of business, sir. My name is Ralph Nickleby. Perhaps you recollect me.
Why, yes, sir. Did you not pay me a small account for some years on behalf of the parents of a boy named George?
That's right, who died unfortunately in Yorkshire.
Yes, sir, I remember well. And I remember too how Mrs. Squeers nursed the boy, dry toast and warm tea when he wouldn't swallow, a candle in his bedroom on the night he died, and a dictionary to lay his head upon.
Yes. So, shall we do some business? You have advertised for an able assistant, and here he is. My nephew Nicholas, hot from school, with everything he learned fermenting in his head, and nothing fermenting in his pocket.
Well,
I fear, sir, that you object to my youth and my not being a Master of Arts.
well, the absence of a college degree is an objection.
And if any caprice of temper should induce him to cast aside this golden opportunity, I shall cast myself resolved from extending any assistance to his mother and to his sister.
A fine gentleman, that Mr. Squeers. A gentleman of virtue and morality.
I'm sure of it.
Nicholas, you're employed.
Oh, Uncle,
The coach leaves at 8 o'clock tomorrow morning, Mr. Nickleby. You must be here at 4:45.
Yes, certainly.
And your fare is paid.
Oh, Uncle, I shall never forget this kindness.
Mr. Snorley, boys.
Nice.
Walking that has come, Mr. Bonnie says.
Yes, I know what Mr. Bonnie says. A matter of investment. Now, sir, shall we go? You heard Mr. Squeers. Early in the morning.
And there was so much to be done.
And so little time to do it in.
So many kind words to be spoken.
That the preparations for the journey were mournful indeed.
100 things deemed indispensable for the comforts Nicholas left behind.
100 affectionate contests at such points as these took place.
As they may prove convertible into money if required. And as they grew nearer and nearer to the close of their preparations.
Kate grew busier and busier and wept more silently.
And then at last, and at 6 in the morning, Nicholas rose up and wrote a few lines in pencil to say goodbye, and resolved that, come what may,
There whatever may be in store for him, for the sake of his mother, his sister, and he ever his uncle no excuse to desert them in their need.
This is 2 penny worth of milk, is it, William?
It's all right, sir.
Right, what a rare article of milk's in London, to be sure. Now, fill it up to the top with water, will you?
To the top, sir?
That's correct.
But, sir, you're drowning milk.
Well, serve it right for being so expensive. Now, where's bread and butter?
Here, sir.
Wait! Now, my dears, when I say 1, young Snorley takes a drink of milk and eats his bread. When I say 2, the older Snorley, then 3 is belly clear.
Yes, sir.
Right. Now, wait, subdue your appetites, my dears. You've conquered human nature. 1, say thank you.
Thanks, sir.
2, what do you say?
Thank you.
And, oh dear, Belling, there's the horn. You picked your jam, come on, dears, let's bustle.
I'm sorry, Mr. Knowles. Hush, take it, read it. Heaven knows, that's all.
But I...
Nicholas!
Oh, Mama, Kate, you shouldn't.
How can we just let you go?
Now, Nickleby, I think you'd better ride behind. I'm feared of Belling falling off, and there goes £20 a year. And dear Belling, if you don't stop chattering your teeth and shaking, I'll warm you up with a severe thrashing in about half a minute's time. Come, Nickleby.
Oh, Nicholas, who is that man? What kind of place can it be you're going to?
Well, I suppose Yorkshire folk are rather rough and uncultivated.
Nickleby, goddamn you!
To our meeting someday soon. I shall write.
A minute, buckle!
and a banging of the coach
A
door,
swaying of the vehicle,
I'll come, all right!
a few notes from the hall,
and the coach was gone, and rattling over stones and smithy.
To the boys' hall.
Oh, sir, you needn't call it a hall up here.
Why not?
'Cause the fact is, it ain't a hall.
A host of unpleasant misgivings, which had crowded Nicholas throughout the whole journey, thronged into his mind. As he considered the dreary house and dark windows, and the countryside around covered with snow, he felt a depression of heart and spirit, which he had never experienced before.
No, we call it a hall up in London because it sounds better. But they don't know it by that name here. A man may call his house an island if he likes. There's no act of parliament against that, I believe.
No, I don't believe there is, sir.
Well then, hey, door! Come on, Smike, where are you? Smike, where the devil have you been?
Please, sir, I fell asleep.
You fell what?
Please, sir, I fell asleep over the fire.
Fire? What fire? Where's there a fire?
Please, sir, Mrs. said as I was sitting up, I might be by the fire for a walk.
Your missus is a fool. You'd been a deuce deal more wakeful in the cold.
Squares!
My love.
Squares!
The voice to bed.
Oh, Squares, how is my little squeary dearie? Mwah!
Well, my love. How the cows?
All right, every one of them.
And the pigs?
As well as they were when you went.
Well, that's a great blessing. The boys all as they were, I suppose.
Yes, they're well enough. The young sprout has had a fever.
No! Damn the boys, always had something of that sort.
Never was such a boy, do I believe? And whatever he has is always catching too. The saint's awkwardness, and nothing will ever convince me that isn't. I beat it out of him, and I told you that 6 months ago.
So you did, my love. We'll try what we've done. Oh, this is our new young man, my dear, Mr. Nickleby.
Is it?
He can shake down here tonight, can't he?
Well, if he's not particular.
Oh, no, certainly.
That's lucky.
Right. Balder's father's short.
The Cobby's sister sent something. That's good.
Oh, and Greymarsh's maternal aunt has written, with no money but 2 pairs of stockings and a tract.
Maternal aunt?
My love?
More likely, in my view, that she's Greymarsh's maternal mother.
Yes, what's to do, boy?
Is there...
What?
Is there... There's nothing heard?
No, not a word, and never will be. And it's a pretty sort of thing, is it not? That you should have been left here all these years, and no notice taken, nor no clue to whom you belong to. It's a pretty sort of thing, is it not? That I should have to feed a great fellow like you, and never hope to get 1 penny for it, isn't it?
The boy put his hand to his head, as if he was trying to remember something. And then, looking vacantly at his questioner, gradually broke into a smile.
That's right. Now off with you.
I tell you what, Squares, that young chap's turning silly.
I hope not, for he's a handy fellow out of doors, and worth this meat and drink anyway. But come, I'm tired, I want to go to bed.
Oh, drat the thing!
What's wrong, my love?
The school spoon, I can't find it.
Never mind, my dear.
What? Never mind, it's brimstone in the morning.
Yes, of course it is, I forgot. We purify the boy's blood now and then, Nickleby.
Purify fiddlesticks. Don't think, young man, that we go to the expense of flour, brimstone and molasses just to purify them. Because if you think we carry on the business in that way, you'll find yourself mistaken. And so I tell you plainly.
My love, should you?
Nonsense. If the young man comes to be a teacher, let him understand at once that we don't want any foolery about the boys. They're brimstone and treacle, partly because if they hadn't something in the way of medicine, they'd be ailing and giving a whole world of trouble. And partly because it comes cheaper than breakfast or dinner. So it does them good, and us good at the same time. And that's fair, I'm sure. Now, where's that spoon?
Ma'am.
What is it?
It's round your neck.
Well, why didn't you say that before?
Sorry, ma'am.
And so, dear Mr. Nickleby, good night.
A most invaluable woman, Nickleby. That woman, Nickleby, is always the same. Always the same lively, active, bustling, saving creature you see her now. It is my custom when I'm in London to say that she's like a mother to those boys, but she's more. She's 10 times more. She does things for those boys, Nickleby, that I don't believe half the mothers going would do for their own sons. And so, good night, Mr. Nickleby.
Good night, sir.
My dear young man, I know the world. Your father did not. But you have not done me kindness when there was no hope of return. You do not. Or you will not be bound on such a journey. If ever you need shelter in London, they know where I live at the sign of a crown. Silver Street, Golden Square. You could come at night. Once, nobody was ashamed. But never mind that. It's all over now. Please excuse errors. I have forgotten my old ways. My spellings may have gone with them.
Yours obediently, Newman Knox.
P.S. If you should ever find yourself in Bernard Castle, they make a good ale at the King's Head. Say my name there, and I'm sure they will not charge you for it. You may say Mr. Knox there, for I was a gentleman then. Indeed I was.
7:30, Nickleby, it's morning come on, well iced already. Come, tumble up, will you? There, Nickleby, this is our shop.
First boy, Tompkins, 9, a cripple.
Second boy, notes, 13, classic.
Fifth boy, mobs, 11.
Simpleton.
Fifth boy, mobs, 11. Simpleton.
Sixth, boulder, 14, orphan.
7, picture, 10.
Yes.
I'm very, very slow.
Move on, move on.
9, Johnny.
Johnny.
Jackson, 13, illegitimate.
7, Peters, blind.
11th boy, voter. 7, my mother killed my father.
Yes.
7 to 8.
13, Robert Snarley.
14, Junior Snorri.
16, Anthony Belly, 7 years of age, a classical and modern more education.
And what do you say? And what do you say to this? Amen. Now, boys, I've been to London and have returned to my family and you as fit and well as ever.
Hip, hip. Hip, hip. Hip, hip.
I've seen the parents of some boys and they're so glad to hear how their sons are doing and had no prospect at all of their going home, which of course is a blessing. But I've had disappointments to contend with. Balder's father, for instance, was £2.10 short. Where is Balder? Oh, Balder. Balder, if your father thinks that because... What do you call this, sir?
What, sir?
What, sir?
What, sir?
What?
I can't help it, sir. They will come. It's working in the garden, does it, sir? But at least I don't know what it is, sir. But it's not my fault.
Balder, you're an incorrigible young scoundrel. And as for the last thrashing did you no good, we must see what an apple do towards beating it out of you. Later. Now, a letter for Copy. Oh, Copy's grandmother is dead, and his Uncle John took to drinking, which is all the news is 60 cents, except 18 pence, which will just pay for that broken square of glass. Mobs! Now, Mob's mother took to her bed on hearing that he would need fat, and has been very ill ever since. She wishes to know by an post where he expects to go to if he quarrels with his victuals, and with what feelings he can turn up his nose at the cow's liver broth, after his good master has asked a blessing on him. She is disconsolate to find he is discontented, which is sinful and horrid, and hopes Mr. Squares will flog him into a happier state of mind, which he will. Now, boys, I'd like you all to meet my new assistant, Mr. Nickleby. Good morning, Mr. Nickleby. Good morning, Mr. Nickleby.
Good morning.
Now, Nickleby, this is the first class in English spelling and philosophy. We'll soon get a Latin one up and hand that over to you. We've got the practical mode of teaching here. Where's Small Piece? Please. Let any boy speak out of turn and have the skin off his back.
Please, sir. He's cleaning the back parlour window.
So he is, to be sure. C-L-E-A-N, clean. Clean. Verb, active, to make bright, to scour. W-I-N, win. Win. D-E-R, der. Winder, a casement. When a boy knows this, he goes and he knows it. That's our system, Nickleby. Now, where's Grinder?
Please, sir, he's in the garden.
So he is, to be sure. B-O-T, bot.
Bot.
T-I-N, tin.
Tin.
Bottom.
Bottom.
N-E-Y, knee.
Knee.
Botany.
Botany.
Now, substantive. When a boy knows that botany means a knowledge of plants, he goes and he knows them. Now, Nickleby, that's our new system. What do you think of it?
It's a very useful one at any rate.
I believe you. You in the corner, what's a horse?
Please, sir.
Oh, so it is, to be sure. A horse is a beast, and quadruped's Latin for beast, as anyone who's gone through the grammar knows. Or else, where's the use of having grammar at all?
Where indeed, sir.
And as you're so good in that, go to my horse and rub him down well, or I'll rub you down. The rest of you, go and draw a water up until someone tells you to lay off. For it's washing day tomorrow, and they'll want the coppers filled. Except for Mobs and Balder. Stay there, Smite, they'll be taken to their beds. This is the way we do it, Nickleby.
And Nicholas sat down so depressed and self-degraded that if death were to come upon, he would have been happy to meet it, the cruelty of which he had been an unwilling witness.
The Coulson ruffianly behaviour of Squeers, the filthy place, the sights and sounds about him, all contributed to his feeling.
And when he recollected that, being there as an assistant, he was an aider and abettor of the system, which filled him with disgust and indignation.
He loathed himself.
Mamma! Annie! Tilda Price brought me home, Mamma.
Miss Price.
Good morning.
Hello, Mrs. How's this then?
And John as well. I see.
Mamma, do ask him in.
Would you care for a glass of something, Miss Price? Mr. Browning?
Aye, we would that certainly.
Well then.
As soon as time me yours.
Engaged.
Who is?
She is.
To who?
To him.
At her age? Well, I suppose she is quite easy on the eye.
And, after all, he's hardly what you'd call a gentleman.
Right then, let's fill a glass of something, Mrs. And let's have it sharp, yeah?
No, he's not what you'd call a gentleman at all. He's got a new man. A gentleman?
If he's a gentleman's son, he's foundling, that's my opinion.
Foundling? He's nothing of the sort. His father was married to his mother years before he was born, and she's alive now.
Well, all I say...
And if you do dislike him, my dear, I don't know anyone who shows dislike better than you. I also don't know anyone who can destroy a man like you can.
Is that so?
My love.
A gentleman.
Hello? Please, don't be frightened. Are you cold? You're shivering.
Oh dear. Oh dear. Oh dear. My heart will break. It will. Remember Dorker, do you?
Dorker?
I was with him at the end. He asked for me. Who will I ask for? Who?
Who will you ask for when?
No one. No hope. Hope left.
There's always hope.
Is there? O-U-T-C-A-S-T. A noun. Substantive. Person cast out or rejected. Abject and forsaken. Homeless. Me.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was looking for my father.
He's not here.
I see. I beg your pardon, sir. How very awkward.
Oh, please, please, don't apologize.
Thank you, sir.
Oh, sir.
And at that very moment, Kate and Miss Nickleby arrived at their new home.
Around the squalid slums of the East End of London.
Behind a wharf that opened up to the river.
And nearby an empty kennel and some animal bones.
Past which they quickly walked.
And went inside.
Well, here it is.
I see.
Well, it's not, of course. There's some furniture, and there's a fire made up. Though it's a little gloomy now. I'm sure it can be made quite...
Yes.
Well, my dear, is it not thoughtful and considerate of your kind uncle to provide
Your
us with...
uncle? Yes.
Oh, Mamma, this house is so depressing. One could imagine that some dreadful thing happened.
Lord dear Kate, don't talk like that. You'll frighten me to death.
It's just a foolish fancy.
Well, Kate, I'll thank you to keep your foolish fancies to yourself, and not to waken my foolish fancies to keep them company.
I'm sorry. Mr. Knox, we need to detain you no longer.
Is there nothing more?
No, nothing really, thank you.
Perhaps dear Mr. Knox would like to drink to our house.
Perhaps, Mamma, you'd hurt his feelings if you offered it.
Gloomy and black, in truth, the old house was. No life stirred there, and everything said coldness, silence, and decay.
And so it happened that the next day, during what suffered to elapse between what was pleasantly called the dinner of Mr. Square's pupils and their returns to the pursuits of useful knowledge, Nicholas was engaged on a melancholy walk and brood and listless saunter.
And Miss Price, who had stayed the night with Miss Squeers, was at that same time being taken by her best friend, and used to follow home as the second turn of the road.
Ah, Kim!
I found you haven't seen us yet. Shall we turn back?
No, Tilda, it's my duty to go through with it.
And so I shall.
Good morning.
He's going. I shall faint.
Oh, Mr. Nickleby, come back!
What's Miss
Mr.
Squares?
Nickleby.
Oh dear, this foolish faintness.
It's not foolish, dear. You have no reason for
I entertain some kind of, does she think that I am in love with her?
Oh, answer for me, dear. Of course she does.
She does?
Of course. And you may say, dear Tilda, that if Mr. Nickleby has doubted that, he may set his mind at rest. His sentiments are completely reciprocated.
Stop!
Whatever for?
Pray hear me. This is the grossest and wildest delusion, completest and most signal mistake that ever human being laboured under or committed. I have scarcely seen the young lady half a dozen times, but had I seen her 60 or 60,000 times, it would be and will be precisely the same. I have not one thought, wish, or hope connected with her, unless it be, and I say this not to hurt her feelings, but to impress her with the real state of my own, unless it be of one day turning my back on this accursed place, never to set foot in it again, or to think of it, even think of it, except with loathing and disgust. And with this plain and straightforward declaration, Nicholas bowed slightly, and waiting to hear no more, retreated.
But oh, poor Fanny, your anger, rage, and vexation are not to be described.
Refused!
Refused by a teacher, picked up by advertisement, and an annual salary of £5, payable at indefinite periods. And this too, in the presence of a little chit of a middle store of 18.
Who was going to be married to a man who had gone down on his very knees to ask her? Sir, I pity you. You're right, Mama. Right? About what? About that knuckle boy. You, sir!
Yes, ma'am?
You've been wanted in the classroom for 10 minutes.
Yes, certainly.
Not through the house, sir. Round that way. Smite! Where do you think you're going? You haven't finished yet.
Don't try. Don't try, please. I know they are more harmful because I cannot bear it.
Except for you. I die.
No, you'll be better off, I tell you, when I'm gone.
You? Gone?
I shall be driven to it, yes.
You? Going?
I was speaking to my thoughts.
Tell me, will you? Will you go?
I shall be driven to go away.
Please tell me. Is away as bad as here?
No, there's nothing.
Can I meet you there? Away?
Well, yes, you can.
Can I meet you there? Away? And I will find you in a way.
Yes, you can. And if you did, I would do everything I could to help you. Dear Kate, I miss you terribly. But at least I feel that if my work here prospers... Dear Kate, I took a Latin class today. The boys, they are not advanced. There is much to do. The countryside is...
Hey! Are you up there? Are you asleep all day?
We shall be down directly, sir.
Well, you'd better be, or I'll be down on some of you in less. Where's Smike?
He's not here, sir.
I said, where's Smike?
He's not here, sir.
What does this mean? Where have you hit him?
I haven't seen him since last night.
Oh, no? And you boys, have any of you seen him?
No, please, sir.
What's that?
I think he's run away.
Who said that? And where is Jennings? So, you think he's run away, do you? And what reason, sir? What reason do you have to suppose that any boy would want to run away from this establishment? Hey, sir? And you, Nickleby, I suppose you think he's run away too, do you?
I think it's highly likely, yes.
Or perhaps you know he's run away.
I do not know, sir, and I am glad I do not. For if I did, it would have been my duty to have warned you.
Which, no doubt, you would have been devilish sorry to do.
Yes, sir, I would.
What's going on? Where's Smite?
He's gone.
Gone? Well, we have to find him then, stupid. He must be on the road. He has no money, no food. He must be on the public road.
That's true.
And when we catch him...
And when we catch him, I'll only stop just short of playing my line. So follow your leader, boys, and take your baton from Smite, if you dare. Now go and find him! Is that place! Nickleby, sir, to your place! So, sir, what do you have to say for yourself? Nothing, I suppose. Well then, let's begin, shall we?
Spare me, sir!
What's that?
Oh, spare me, sir!
That's all, is it? Well, I'll flog you within an inch of your life, but I will spare you that.
I was driven to it, sir!
Driven to it? Not your fault,
That's
but
a
mine.
good
Does not stop!
Get out!
No, sir, I can't. I have tried to intercede. I have begged forgiveness for the boy. You haven't listened.
Get out and leave me to my word.
No, sir, I can't.
Can't. We'll see. Now get out and leave me to my word. Ha!
Get up
I'll get you for this, Nickleby.
Oh, Squeary!
Hey, who's that? Who's that? Hey! Dark and still.
Yes, I'm afraid so.
I mean, afraid.
Well, it's...
Hey, man, what's the matter with this?
It's a cut, a blow. But I return it to the giver with interest.
Hey, did that?
Yes, but I have been the victim of considerable mistreatment. Yes, at the hands of Mr. Squeers. But I have beaten him soundly, and I'm leaving here as a result.
What?
I beat the schoolmaster. What?
That beat the schoolmaster?
Yes.
Who ever heard the like? Give me the hand.
Give you my hand?
That's right, give me the hand. That beat the schoolmaster. Hey, man, where is I going?
Well, to London.
Has I out and wear cash?
Well, no, but as I plan to walk.
So walk to London? Look, man, now needs cash, at least for food and such like. So here's money.
I couldn't possibly.
I couldn't possibly. I couldn't possibly have out. So come on, man, at least accept the sovereign.
I don't know.
And maybe thou will not use all of it and send the surplus back, eh?
Oh,
and take this timber too. If thou's walking that far, he does well. Beat the schoolmaster. Oh, beat him like a sissy girl. Oh, better get away from you. You might beat me.
To Mr. Ralph Nickleby, Golden Square in London. Sir, my pa requests me to write to you the doctor will submit doubtful whether ever recover the use of his legs, which prevents him from holding a pen. We're in a state of mind beyond everything, and my pa is one mass of bruises, both blue and green. When your nephew, which you recommended for a teacher, had done this to my pa, and jumped upon his body with feet and language I will not pollute my pen with describing, he assaulted my ma with dreadful violence, dashed her to the earth and drove her back home several inches into her head. A little more and it must have entered the skull. We have a medical certificate that if it had, the tortoise shell would have affected the brain. Me and my brother were then the victims of his fury. I'm screaming out loud all the time I write, and so is my brother, which takes off my attention rather, and I hope will excuse mistakes. The monster, having satiated his thirst for blood, ran away, taking with him a boy of desperate character, which he had excited to rebellion. Remain yours and etc. Fanny Squeers. P.S. I pity his ignorance and despise him.
It's morning. Smike, why do you kneel to me?
To go anywhere, go everywhere, the world's end, to the churchyard grave. I can. You'll let me come away with you. You are my home.
In that quarter of London where Golden Square is situated, there is a bygone tumble-down old street, 2 rows of black and battered houses, where, on a wet and dismal winter's evening, Newman Hoggs, the clerk to that great man of business, sat studying a letter written to his master, which had arrived that very afternoon.
My pa requests, one mask of bruises, language, thirst for blood, oh dear, and etc. Fanny Squeers, oh dear.
Monster, a boy of desperate character. Has my uncle yet received this letter?
Yes, he has.
Then I must go to him at once.
No, you mustn't.
Mustn't? Why?
Because he hasn't read it yet, and he's away from town 3 weeks.
My sister, mother, do they know of this?
They don't.
I must go to them at once.
No, you mustn't.
Mustn't? Why?
Because your uncle... Please be advised by me. You can't be seen to be tampering with anyone. And also...
Yes, and also...
You come home just after 3 weeks. No money, no position. What? What will your mother?
Oh, Newman, I tell you, 3 weeks or 3 hours.
I know. But still, my dear young man, you can. You mustn't. This sort of thing will never do. If you want to get on in this world, if you take the part of everyone that's ill-treated, damn it, I'm proud of you. I would have done the same myself.
Oh, Newman. But at least you're right. We should find something to keep ourselves in shoe leather before we see them. Well, we'll see about it tomorrow. We haven't even a place to stay.
Well, tonight you stay with me. And tomorrow, there's a room downstairs for let. It's hardly less a means than my own.
Oh, Mr. Knox, your kindness unsurpassable. I have 3 friends in all the world. That bluff young fellow up in Yorkshire, Smike, yourself, and Mr. Knox, our benefactor. And it is enough. It is enough indeed.
No, I won't believe it. Never. It's a lie that they've invented.
No, my dear, you wrong the worthy man. These aren't inventions. Mr. Squeers has been assaulted. The boy goes with him. It's all true.
It can't be true. Oh, Mama, how can you just sit there listening to this?
She's no choice, my dear. Her son's committed conduct for which he might well hold up his head at the Old Bailey, and it'd be my duty, if it came my way, to give him up to justice. As a man of honour and of business, I would have no other means, except I wish to spare the feelings for his mother and for his sister. Madam, everything combines the truth of this. Assaults and riots. Is this innocence?
I don't know, I'm sure.
Oh, Mother!
And I never would have thought of him, certainly.
You never would have thought?
Your uncle is your uncle, dear.
But what he says is still untrue.
Oh, you.
Oh, Nicholas.
Become, consider.
Consider what?
Please consider and refute these accusations.
What accusations? What has he said to you?
I've said so. What's the truth? That you assaulted your master, you attacked him, nearly killed him, and then you ran away.
I see. I saved a poor, miserable creature from the vilest cruelty. In doing so, I have put pain upon the wretch who was abusing him.
Penitent.
Please, Nicholas, where is this boy?
He's with me now.
Will you restore him?
Not to that man, not ever.
Oh, I don't know what to think.
Now, sir, you listen to a word or two.
Say what you like, I shan't take heed of it.
Then I won't speak to you, but to your mother. She may find it worth the while to listen to what I have to say. That you will not have one access to one penny of my money, one gasp of my hand, or one crust of my bread that might save from the gallows. I will not meet him, nor meet anyone who meets him. I will not hear his name, and as I can't renounce him, I must renounce you.
Oh, I can't help it.
What?
I know you've been good to us, but still, even if he has anything you say...
You heard what he said, Mother.
I can't renounce my own son, I really can't. And all that thinking he'd be headmaster.
Then I'll go.
You needn't.
Needn't I?
Because I will.
Oh, Nicholas, don't say so. It'll break my heart. Oh, Mama, please speak to him. Please don't leave us here. No one to protect us, please.
I can't protect you. How can I
My
protect
dear,
you?
there is your answer.
Oh, Kate, we'll go to Rackaruin, to the workhouse for the dispute at Magdalen Hospital. One, the other, or the third.
Mother, you needn't. Because I'm the one that's going.
Where? Where, Nicholas?
I don't know. It's hard to have done nothing, but to be pronounced as a criminal, and to leave the ones I love behind.
Please, you won't.
I must, or else you're destitute.
You won't get everything we had. The days, the years we spent together.
This isn't over. All right.
The golden morning morning in early spring, and a few meagre shadows glittered to and fro in the misty streets.
At intervals we heard the tread of slips on feet.
And the chilly cry of the sweep as he crept shivering to his early toil, a sluggish darkness thickened as the day came on.
And those who had the courage to rise and peep at the gloomy street below from the curtained windows
Crept back to bed again and coiled themselves up to sleep.
But Nicholas and Smike were up.
And Newman too, who expended the day's income on a can of milk and rum to prepare them for the day's journey. So where are you going?
Kingston first.
And then? Why won't you tell me?
Because I scarcely know myself.
I'm afraid that's some deep scheme in your head.
So deep that even I can't fathom it. Don't worry, I'll write.
You won't forget?
I haven't so many friends that I should grow confused about the number and forget the very best.
And though Newman's persistence that he'd be able to walk an hour or two more with them,
Nicholas and Smike turned and left and turned again
to see their friends still waving to them.
Until they could see old Newman Noggs no more. Well, Smike, Portsmouth first.
Portsmouth?
Yes, because it is a seaport town. And I was thinking we could board a ship. I'm young and active, so are you.
And I'm very willing.
Yes, too willing, for example, with that bundle. Let me carry it for a while.
No.
No.
Because I thought of carrying it. For you.
It was by this time within an hour of noon, and although dense vapour still enclosed the city they had left,
As if to clothe itself with schemes of gain and profit.
In the open countryside, it was clear and fair.
Hey,
Yes, ma'am.
the ship. On ship. When I was at that place.
Yes.
I used to milk the cows and groom the horses.
But it's a ship, Smike. There aren't too many cows and horses on board ship. Well, I don't believe. Come on, Smike, let's sing to make the day go quicker. A broad, fine, honest sun lighted up the green pasture and dimpled water with the semblance of summer, leaving the travellers with the freshness of spring. The ground seemed to quicken their beat, and sheep bells were music to their ears, and hoping made them strong, and strength awakened hope, and they pushed on with the courage of lions. Come on, Smike! A broad, fine, honest sun lighted up the green pasture and dimpled water with the semblance of summer, leaving the travellers with the freshness of spring. You have a good memory, Smike.
I don't know. I had once, I think. But now all gone.
What do you mean you had one once?
Because I could remember. When I was a child.
Think, Smike. When you came to Yorkshire, the weather hot or cold?
Wet. Very wet. And afterwards, when it was raining, I could see myself the day I came.
Did you come there alone?
No. A man. A dark and withered man, they used to say. And I think I remember too. Remember being frightened of him. Glad he went away. But frightened at the place he left me too.
Now look at me, Smike. Don't look away. Do you remember anything, anyone, or anywhere before that place in Yorkshire? Think, Smike, think.
A room. A large and lonesome room beneath the attic. There was a hook in the ceiling above me. I was frightened of it. Covered up with it. Till now I have not known 2 days together when I haven't been afraid.
And the sun went down, and in the morning it rose again, and they rose with it, and walked onwards until Smike could go no further. And they found a little inn, yet 12 miles short of Portsmouth.
Ah, how far to Portsmouth?
12 miles. Long miles.
A good road.
No, a bad one.
Well, we must be at Portsmouth by tonight.
Well, don't let me influence you anyway. But if I were you, I wouldn't go.
Look, we are both obviously humble folk, but we haven't enough money to stay the night. But if you had a little food.
What would you like?
Mutton chops?
No, sorry.
Cold meat?
Clean out.
An egg?
No eggs today. Yesterday we had mountains of them, and tomorrow mountains of them coming.
Today?
No eggs today.
Okay, boys, let's just see your sword fight. That's capital. You'll get a double encore if you take care, boys. You better go and get your travelling clothes on now.
Well, Smike, we must be at Portsmouth by tonight.
Portsmouth?
Yes, sir.
You're set for Portsmouth?
Yes, sir.
So am I. And may I venture a short of money for the coach?
You guessed it, sir.
Well then, ride me upon my phaeton.
Oh, sir.
That's settled. Landlord, see that my payment's fetched. So what do you think of that then, sir?
Oh, that. Very good. Quite capital.
You won't see much of that too often.
Maybe if they were a little better matched.
What's matched? Why, sir, it's the very essence of the combat there should be a foot or two between them. Otherwise, how are you to get at the sympathies of the audience in a legitimate manner?
Oh, I see. You are theatricals.
Yes, I'm playing from Portsmouth tonight. Yes, I am Vincent Crumbs, and I am of the theatrical profession. My wife and children are of the theatrical profession. My chaste pony is of the theatrical profession, and my dog who lived and died from a puppy. Now just my baggage, and we're set to go.
Oh, thank you, sir.
Oh, not at all. It's my self-interest. I have an eye for talent, Mr.
Johnson.
Johnson, and you're struck me immediately.
Talent for what?
Why, for the stage. There's gentle comedy. Your walk and manner, juvenile tragedy, your eye, and touch and go fast in your laugh. And your associate. I've never seen a better for the starving business. He'll be quite well tolerably dressed for the role of the apothecary, Romeo and Juliet. The slightest red dab on his nose, and he'll get 3 rounds the moment he pops his head round the practical door.
Practical?
In the front grooves. OP, sir. Can you write?
Oh, well, I'm not illiterate.
Well then, that could not be better. You will write our new piece for a week on Monday.
But, sir, I can't. I've never written anything.
What stuff? Do you speak French?
Yes, I'm native.
Well, turn that into English, put your name in it, and there's the play. Later, we play Romeo and Juliet. And I have an eye for talent. I reckon you're romantic. You can give us your Romeo, and your friend is quite aptly suited for the role of apothecary.
Sir, I have just one more question.
Ask away.
Will I will be paid for this?
Will you be paid? Will you be paid? Dear sir, with your own salary, your friends, and royalties, you'll get £1 a week.
£1 a week?
At least. Now come, sirs, come.
Oh, well, Smike, what times we've landed at Smike?
The stage!
And good afternoon to one and all. And welcome to Portsmouth.
Vincent?
Ah, Mrs. Cromwell.
Vincent! Who are those men, so withered and so wild in their attire?
Is this a stage? I thought it would be a blaze of light and finery.
Why, so it is, but not by day, Smike, not by day.
Mr. Johnson, please meet Mrs. Cromwell.
I am so glad to see you, so glad, and able come to welcome you, provisionally, as a promising new member of our corps. And this, yet more, a London Irish friend, you too are welcome, sir.
And 1 and 2 and 3.
What's this?
It is the Indian salvage of Maiden.
Hers and 1 and 2 and brown and threatened.
Oh yes, it is right. Captain.
Attitude! And he loves her, and she loves him. Thank you. And goodbye, Max.
And this, as Mrs. Mrs. Cromwell, best known to half the nobility of England as the infant phenomenon.
Your daughter?
Our daughter, sir, and the item of every place we go into. The talent of this child must be seen, sir, seen to be even vaguely appreciated. Now kiss your mother there.
What has this child been eating? Mrs. Brennan, where are you?
May I ask how old she is?
You may, sir. She is 10 years of age.
Not more.
Not a day.
Oh, quite extraordinary.
Oh, great talent there, sir, great talent.
Oh,
yes, she should be in the provinces, she really shouldn't.
What do you mean?
Well, I mean that she's too good for country boards, and that she was in one of those large houses in London, or nowhere. And I tell you more, if it wasn't for envy and jealousy in some quarters, she would be. Perhaps you introduce me here, Mr. Cromwell.
Mr. Blair, this is Mr. Johnson, who's to write a new piece for a week on Monday. And when he's done that, he's to study Romeo. Here they are, cues and all. Ah, now
Happy to know you, sir. Well, did you ever see such a set out as that?
Do you mean the infant phenomenon?
Infant humbug, sir! With half a pint of gin a morning every day since infancy, you could look 10 for life, I'd venture.
I see. You seem to take it to heart.
Yes, my dear, and well I may. Isn't it enough to make a man crusty to see that spoiler put up the best business every night, and actually keeping money out of the house? Why, I know of 15 and 6 pence that came to Southampton to see me dance Island Fling, and what's the consequence? I've never been put up in it since, never once. While the infant phenomenon is running through artificial flowers at 5 people and a baby on the pit, and 2 boys in the gallery every night. Oh, hello, fellow, how are you?
Well, Tommy, do the honours, do the honours.
Ah, yes, this is Mr. Johnson, joined us suddenly this afternoon. Mr. Lenville, who does our first tragedy.
First tragedy?
Oh, yes, the major tragic roles and...
What's he going to play then, Tommy?
Well, I...
Bits and pieces. Cassio and other things and such.
What other things?
I'm writing a new piece as well.
A new piece, eh? What's in it?
Well, it's based on a...
I meant for me something, you know, in the tragic and declamatory line.
Yes. Well, I see you as the man who turns his wife and child out of doors, and then, in a fit of jealousy, stabs his eldest son in the library. Then, troubled by remorse, he brings it upon himself to destroy himself.
Ah, yes, I see.
But as he or you raise the pistol to your head, you hear, in the distance, a clock strike 10. You recollect to have heard a clock strike 10 sometime in your infancy. And then, as the pistol falls from your hand, you burst into tears and become a virtuous and exemplary character forevermore.
Capital. Yes, sir, that will definitely serve.
Anything for me?
Yes, I see you as the faithful and attached servant turned out of doors with a wife and child.
Always coupled with that infernal phenomenon.
I beg your pardon, sir, but did you ever play at Canterbury?
No, I didn't.
It's just, I recall meeting a gentleman at Canterbury only for a few moments, but I was leaving the country and just enjoyed it. So like you, I felt on my side and it was the same.
Well, I am sure it was not. For I am sure that if we had met, I would have remembered.
Oh, how flattering to say so, but now, as I look at you, I suspect Johnson had not your eyes. You think me foolish, doubtless, to take notice of such things.
Oh, no, why should I feel anything but flattered at your notice anyway?
Oh, Mr. Johnson, all you men are such vain creatures. Les, my dear.
Yes, what is it?
I want to speak to you.
A genius, sir, a genius. I've been using your new piece for her beastly. Her benefit, when her friends and patrons do speak the play. Now you can do us another little favour. There's a little, what shall I call it, canvassing on these occasions.
Among friends and patrons?
Yes, just half an hour tomorrow morning. Call on houses, journal support, you know, new author, all the way from London. Look now to avoid disappointment, and all that kind of thing.
I'm afraid I should not like to.
Not even with the infants?
I know.
Oh, Mr. Johnson, sir, surely you aren't so cruel, so heartless.
Well,
What's this? A problem with the canvas?
Yes, dear, Mr. Johnson seems to have objections.
What object can this be possible?
Well, it's not in my nature to refuse any entreaty, unless it be to do something positively wrong. But I know nobody here, and nobody knows me. So be it, then I yield.
So anyway, about your shoes.
Quiet, everybody!
Oh, it's hard. Ladies and gentlemen, may I introduce you to Mr. Johnson and Mr.
Digby.
Thank you, Mr. Johnson. You have already met Mr. Lenville, Mr. Flair, Miss Nevelinci, my wife and family. This is Mr. Bain, who does the Ten of Lovers. This is Mr. Wagstaff, who's our virtuous old gentleman. And this is Mr. Fluggers, who does everything from country parsons to the Pope. And this is Miss Blighty, who's a rascal. And this
is Miss Ledrick, who's our secondary romance. And this is Miss Belmorning, who does the pages in the White Hose. And that over there is Mrs. Grudden. Now then, tomorrow morning, 10 o'clock, we call the mortal struggle, and then it's all the chorus for the raising of the siege against. Good evening, everyone.
10 o'clock call, 10 o'clock call, everybody. All those with lodgings, go to them. All those without, come see me. And Nicholas, having to play Romeo for the first time on the ensuing evening, anxious on account of Smike, who would have to sustain the character of the apothecary, contrived to slip away for some quiet rehearsal.
Who calls so loud?
Who calls so loud?
Come hither, man. I see that thou art poor. Hold, here are 40 ducats. Let me have a dram of poison, such soon speeding gear that shall disperse itself through all the veins, and the life-weary taker may fall dead, and that the trunk may be discharged of breath, as hasty as powder fired does hurry from the fatal cannon's wound. Such mortal drugs I have.
Such mortal drugs I have.
But Antua's law?
It is death to anyone who utters them.
Art thou so bare and full of wretchedness, and fearest to die? Famine is in thy cheeks, need and oppression starve within thy eyes. The world is not thy friend, nor the world's law. The world affords no law to make thee rich. So be not poor, and break it, and take this. My poverty.
My poverty and not
my will.
consents. My poverty and not my will consents.
I pay thy poverty, and not thy will.
My poverty and not my will consents.
No. Here is thy gold. Worst poison to men's souls, doing more murder in this loathsome world than these poor potions that thou mayst not sell. I sell thee poison. Thou hast sold me none. Farewell.
Romeo and Juliet, Act 5, beginners, orchestra.
Who calls so loud?
Give me thy torch. Do as I bid thee. Go.
I'm almost afraid to stand alone here in the churchyard, but I will adventure.
Sweet flowers with flowers thy bridal bread I strew, with sweet water nightly I will chew. The boy gives warning, something doth approach.
Give me that mattock and wrenching iron. Give me the light. Therefore hence be gone. Live and be prosperous. Farewell, good fellow.
For all the same I hide me hereabouts. His looks I fear, and his intents I doubt.
Thou detestable maw, thou foul womb of death, gorged within the dearest morsel of the earth.
Stop thine hallowed toil, vile Montague, condemned villain, I apprehend thee.
Dost thou apprehend me?
I apprehend thee for a felon here.
Then have at thee, boy.
Hey Lord, they fight! I will go for the watch!
I am slain. If thou be merciful, open the tomb and lay me with Juliet.
In faith I will. Let me peruse thy face. Mercutio's kinsman, thou noble county Paris, I shall bury thee in a dry grave, Oh no, a landlord hath slaughtered you, for here lies Juliet. Tybalt, liest thou there in his bloody sheet? Why art thou yet so fair? Shall I believe that unsubstantial death is ours? For fear of that, I shall stay with thee, for worms that are thy chambermaids. Here shall I set up my everlasting rest. Here's to my love. That's with a kiss. I die.
No, Francis, be my speed. How now? Who's there?
Here's one, a friend, and one that knows you well.
Alack, alack, what blood is this with stones stains the stony entrance of the sepulchre?
Then what I took to be a dream is true, and, further horror, I did hear him speak of some foul liquor that with venomous speed would him to death's black bosom swift dispatch.
Then all is lost. Juliet still sleeps. What a kind hour is guilty of this chance. The watch approaches. We must pass road. Come, come, good friend. We dare no longer stay.
What's here? The cup in thy true love's hand. Poison hath been his timeless end. O child, drunk all and left no friendly drop to help me after. What? And Paris too? O countess that would take my maidenhead. Lie here, thy dagger rests in Juliet's bed.
Hold, hold, I live. The Povex poison coursed throughout my veins, but a dizzy drowsiness, which I mistook for that numb torpor which doth presage death. But in an instant it has passed. What, Juliet?
O Romeo, for I too am not dead. I too drank a draught of fluid that had longer been the same than man.
What strange reversal harketh forth? With Romeo returned.
He, having fled, dead Juliet alive.
Quick, Paris dead.
Not dead! So much as stunned. For Romeo's sword, deflected against my heart, did give but the appearance and the accoutrements of death.
As with my
And the Pollux draft. What's this?
The people cry of the blackest death.
Some others deliverance divine.
Seek both grief and joy on every breath.
Oh, Romeo!
Good heavens! Rosaline!
But morning.
But morning found, now dawn of festival. As merry peals overtake the tolls funeral.
Joy demands a cheerful bell. Mother, father, sister, mine as well.
Huzzah!
Dread sovereign in guilty flight, I did attempt to escape your wrath-moved judgment, but consequence stayed my steps and turned them round, and penitent, I abased myself.
What penitent? There is no crime. Stand! See, all those in chains of death. Unbound. Free.
On my hurried passage, I did meet another whom the jaws of death did let go. See here, Prince, is your kin, Mercutio.
Mercutio, recover!
I, says I, for thou art dead, and born for balming up. My friend Benfolio observed a breath of slight proportion on my countenance, where I was taken to a nearby town, and cured by surgeons of renown.
And further news has come. Speak, Benvolio.
Yes, yes.
Yes, yes, Benvolio. Speak.
I shall, my lord. But 'tis a tale I fear will try their patience. But I swear 'tis true. My friends know oft. In their society have I been told, in jest I'm too gentle for thy revels, and almost feminine in countenance. With not a hair of manhood on my chin. Oft has it been so said, and I have laughed and spoken gruff and slapped my thigh to counter it. But now deception's o'er, and I confess that from this same new town I once did flee, pursuant of a love that fate denied. And so to effect my passage took myself, performing out the clothing of thy sex, to which my love, but not myself, belongs. From nature let deceit no more despair. Benvolio become Benvolio.
Me!
You? I says, 'tis he, who thus from fair disguise releases me.
So everything is done.
What Paris, oh, how sweet Concordo I taken!
Romeo, upon the road in flight, I did perchance to come upon this wizened, withered man, who hobbling was along the way from Mantua, and asked where he may find a desperate man, who may have brought a deathly liquid from him. From your description I resolved it was that self-same wretch, from that self-same town, from whom you brought the dram of poison. I asked what was his purpose, and he told me straight. The darkness, and his age, and dread infirmity had caused him to prepare not poison, but a harmless cordial of sharp effect but of no lasting peril. Oh, what's this?
Good Balthazar, everything is done. I good apothecary, thou mischance has proven the most happy and enduring circumstance.
And now at last my oxen's loudly ring.
Yes!
And saber sound, and minstrels sweetly sing.
Yes! All's concluded. Everything is done.
Hey! But what's a Tybalt? Tybalt still lies locked within the dread embrace of dread of death.
Why come, dear wife, we fought half an hour ago, half a dozen kin were slain. Let grievance cease, let Tybalt's bones remain.
Yes, let it be. That Tybalt still lies there until many doubts to us prepare.
A blooming beast this morning women bring. The sun happiness shines forth his head. Go hence to have more talk of happy things. For never was a story but give off me. Never was a story better said. This of Romeo and Juliet.
In the rise, join the chorus. It's a new made song we should be singing, singing the sky. Flutter before us, what the bright bird of peace is bringing. Upon a smiling land, where the wells of nations stand, where prosperity and industry walk ever hand in hand, where so many blessings round, 'tis our duty to be proud. Up and answering English yeomen, singing joyfully aloud. Evermore upon a country, God will always rich in peace, and victorious in war shall be made glorious in peace, and victorious in war shall be made glorious in peace.
Ashley, can you get rid of these things? Can you get rid of the grind rod? So you've got the big can. There's... you work with these amateurs. There's the end of... It's been a great week this week. In fact, it's been a really good term. I've really enjoyed this. I saw this show in 1980.
and the original is actually 9.5 hours long. So say thank you for cutting. It's in 2 halves, and I saw each half on. I saw the second night of each half on consecutive Fridays, and it's the most fantastic theatre. And I've wanted to stage it, albeit in a shortened version, ever since then. And it's just been a case of waiting, and you wait and wait until eventually the right group come along. And here they are, the right group. And they've really done it proud. And what's been great about working with them is that, first of all, when we started, I honestly expected, because it's a very different style of thing to anything that they've ever done before. I really expected to have to sell the idea to them to get them enthused about it. And I didn't have to do that at all, because they grasped hold of the idea, and they grasped hold of what I was on about and what the show was about and everything, right from the word go. And the rehearsals have been terrific. The other great skill that they have developed during the last 2.5 months is that they can all talk at the same time. It's just incredible. They can all talk. I actually looked at one point, they were all talking. Well, if they're all talking, who is listening? And it was obvious, nobody needed to bother, but they were all talking. And every now and again I had to beat them. There was a touch of the Wackford squeers that came out to actually make sure that they were listening to what's going on. But they've been fantastic to work with all through the 5 terms that they've been doing the course. We also have to thank various people. And I'm going to begin by thanking Gwyn, because I usually forget Gwyn. So I'm actually going to begin by thanking Gwyn. Gwyn is now at Oxford University, and he does loads of theatre up there. And he comes back, and he always knows, he's got this sort of 6th sense for when I've got a show going on. And he turns up, and then he very quietly gets on with gathering props and organising backstage and things like that. So, and Gwyn has been, once again, turned up last week and did all this stuff, got everything ready, and it's been really good. So thank you very much for all the technical is rather unique this time, because the main two technical things, the lighting and the sound, the 2 lads that have been responsible for that have been, that's been part of their GCSE assessment. And quite literally, I've done nothing. Ashley has been the one, only don't tell health and safety, but Ashley has been the one who's gone up there and slung the lanterns and focused them, and then he programmed the lighting board. All I did was come in on Monday morning and have a look at what he'd done, and it was great. And Ashley did all that. Lewis has operated and recorded all the sound effects and edited the mini disc and got everything ready for the sound effects. And they've done a fantastic job. And also with them is a little bunch of techies that have turned up to help get everything ready. And they've done a great job as well. And often the techies get forgotten. But I don't think, well, they don't get forgotten from us. But there's sometimes, if you haven't noticed them, then they've done their job. Basically, if you have noticed them, if lights suddenly don't come on or fall on the floor or sound effects. I did it once. It was in a dress rehearsal, and I was doing the sound, and and there was a thunderclap. And the only sad part was that the line that followed that was, "Is that somebody at the door?" So it does go wrong every now and again. So it does happen. So thanks very much to all the technicians. And a couple of 2 or 3 members of staff, Ravona Esser, who's the other drama teacher here at the moment, who, even as we speak, is probably about 33,000 feet in the air, somewhere over the Sahara, on her way home to South Africa for Easter holiday. She worked with us during the time, and also during the rest of the week has actually helped, because it's quite a sort of all costume organising thing. And Mr. Blake, who made himself redundant by putting that final song and playing the final song onto a MIDI file and recording it so that he didn't have to turn up every night. And that's because that was all that we needed, and that was really good of them for working on that. And also my wife, who I think is in the corner, who came along last night at very short notice after there was a cock-up between us and the PTA about refreshments. So the first night we didn't have any. And then my wife came along and organised the refreshments last night and tonight. So thank you very much. Finally, in this orgy of thanks, which probably rivals anything you've ever seen at the Oscars, finally, at the end of this school year, there are two huge events. First of all, I complete 30 years at Harroway School. And the amazing thing is, I don't look a day older than I do last Yeah, I know. I don't know. I've done it. I really don't. And the other thing that's going to happen is that Mr. Overton is going to retire. And I'd like... Oh, yeah, I know. And the bizarre thing is that I can actually remember standing here and saying that similar kinds of things about the head teacher before Mr. Overton, because the great thing that I've been grateful for all the time in the school is that successive head teachers have given all the activities within drama, music and dance absolute 100% support. And Mr. Overton has done the same all the way through. And to him, because this in effect is the last sort of school show that under his head teachership. And so to him, a big thank you for everything that he has done. And that's it. And thank you very much for coming. And wait, there's one more.
That's not it.
And
no,
This is why he doesn't look a day older than what he said.
Purely medicinal.